What's going on, everybody? Tuga here, back again. It's time for another episode of my 48-team Custom League Draft to Glory franchise on NHL 23. It might be the longest title in the history of this channel, aside from the title, of course, that so many have labeled me as the king of the liberal soy boy cucks. But in terms of letters, actually, I might be okay. What's a higher Scrabble score? Anyway, we are ready to go. Episode not out of order this time, so that's good. That was just a really stupid frickin' mistake on my part, and I apologize for that. That hasn't happened in a very long time. This is what happens when you are trying to schedule out dozens and dozens of videos between two different channels. I digress. We have a re-sign phase to get through, and we have a new era to approach, of course, as we drafted Michael Misa with the 3rd overall pick in this most recent draft. In terms of goaltenders, well, Claes-Andre will go ahead and let go of you. Defensively, I think we are just, again, going to kind of continue that approach of bringing in everybody. Florian Merg, we can go ahead and let you go. And honestly, because we did sign so many people to longer deals, I don't know. We'll see how we approach this for this season. I think we will let go of certain people that are under contract. Yeah, like a bunch of these guys that were terrible. Pretty much can just let them go. We have all the cap space in the world, which is great. Let's go ahead and move forward as Mikey has signed, which is great news for us. And yeah, from there, we're good. Again, we don't have to worry about Merg. A bunch of these guys, their deals are up. We're good. We're good. We're good. And we will still, I would say, take the approach of being downright terrible for the short term, in favor of trying to be better in the long term. But like I said, the faster this team develops, we could suddenly find ourselves on the good side of the league sooner rather than later. That could happen very, very quickly. What, can look like a bad team might not be all that bad. Let's quickly take a look here at our team. And obviously we are going to need to spend a bunch of money. We need, at the very least, one extra goalie. And then defensively, I mean, we have people to sign if need be. I think it's mostly just forwards to fill out the roster. So that is what we will do. We'll sign enough players to make the, to really kind of fill out the team. And I was very distracted there because the $11 million of Lucas Elvenes, which is, goddamn, that's a lot of money. Who do we have? Let's look for, veteran forwards. Is that Brandon Sutter? No, it's Brett Sutter. I mean, the Sutters haven't made enough money in hockey, right? Why not? Why not go ahead? I don't know why I thought it was Brandon Sutter. He's all but retired. Let's see. Is that Paul Thompson? That is Paul Thompson. Let's give Paul Thompson money. Why not? Why not? Wore a necklace for his team photo. Paul Thompson. Here's a boatload of money for you. And who else? Michael Pellick. Boy, both Michael and Matt Pellick. They're both bald. If I'm not mistaken. Just something you notice. And hey, he rocks it. I give him credit. I hope to be able to pull off the bald look someday too. It's going to have to happen. Actually, we kind of find out after a charity stream a couple years ago that I'm going to be all right. So that's good. That's good. We can only hope to rock the bald look so gracefully. In terms of cap, $27 million. So we still have one dude that we can sign to help fill out this team. Might be Jonas Rask again, even though we know Rask is pretty good. Ooh, Justin Florek. Yeah, former Bruins draft pick. There we go. You never know what random name you're going to find. And this time out, we find Justin Florek. Perfect. Of course, not related to former Bruins head coach Robbie Ftorek. I got nowhere to go from there. It's just like, all right, I'm just going to keep talking and see how far I can stretch this out. The answer was not very far at all. But we will get to the beginning of this season. We might go ahead and sign some of the younger forwards. Defensively, it didn't look like we needed it. But we are almost ready to go for this new campaign. So goalie-wise, I actually forgot to sign a goalie. That's okay. AHL team, it'll sign a goalie. We're good. So defensively, yeah, we don't need to sign anybody. We got way too many people signed up through this season. And then forward-wise, well, the AHL team, they'll end up with some auto signings. The only real option is Kalle Ahonen, and we will go ahead and sign you because why the hell not? It's pretty much the only response I have for that. So our goaltenders at the NHL level, Ratzlaff, Vinny, once again. Ratzlaff is a elite level goalie at a 73 overall in the league. Russia also up to starting caliber, which is crazy. Defensively, Dragicevic is a top 2. We have Bentham, Parker, Skinner, Karppinen, and then obviously these 2 we can drop. So do we have one other defender? We do not. So let's go sign one other defender. And hopefully they are half decent. And I think we'll go for the low 4 in Ivanov to hope that we can kind of jumpstart some development there. You know, again, obviously, last 2 drafts have not been what we have really been hoping for, but all we can do is move on. Forward-wise, of course, we have Mr. Fiddler Schultz here, Brady Burns. Don't know if I'll keep those 2 on roster. And it's going to do the scrolling nonsense, unfortunately. So we can definitely bring in Ahonen and McCarty. Let's go ahead down to the bottom. Honestly, if there were those other forwards to sign, and it would be worth it, the worst case scenario is we could do what we have done in other draft glories, and that is sign, oh my god, all the best line options. We could sign defenders and play them at forward at the NHL level just to get them that playing time. Given we only have 4 players, honestly, I think we might try to do that. Just to, like I said, get these guys as much NHL time as possible before the league eventually shifts towards being a top league yet again. It's clearly going to take a while, but it is going to get there. The overall depth of the league will improve over time. So we have Virtanen, we have Pakarainen. Apparently I have drafted a good amount of Finns. Tuomo Jakola also there. I have drafted a good amount of Finns. Forward-wise, let's send down Keith is ours, but Thompson, Moses is ours. We can send down Fiddler, Schultz, and Burns. And then defensively, I know we have at least 1 or 2 more players here. Jonathan Chow. What about Palmerville? No. And McCormick? Also no. Okay, so I think we are good to go, from what I can tell. Sweet. So let's call up this last dude. So it is, let's see, defenders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 2 players can be sent down. And I think it can just be Sutter and Justin Florek. And we're pretty much good. At least the team, I think, unless I'm missing somebody, made up entirely of Hartford drafted players. So obviously, it's going to be a little bit weird this year. I'm going to struggle is what I'm going to do. Coaching staff, really quickly. We do still have the best coach possible in the form of Bejan. Yeah, he really is the best of the bunch. Okay. Well, admittedly, whoops, I went to the wrong spot. Admittedly, not as worried about line chemistry. I don't really feel like it affects things all that poorly. So, honestly, the -3s, we've had teams with -3 before. Let's just get the best players in the best spots and see what happens. I'll take a low 6th over a medium 7th, I guess. So that works for me. Forward-wise, medium 7th. We got another low 4. A low 6 in Pakarainen. Medium bottom 6. Honestly, I think we just leave this pretty much as is. With that exception, we get Moses up there. So Misa still has some options, kind of, to work with. Not the best, but yeah, clearly some forward help in the near future would be fantastic. This AHL team, if last season is anything to go off of, this team is probably going to suck. But we're really not too worried about that. I mean, Nick Russi is basically the only guy there that we have any sort of ties to whatsoever. And it is worth now making sure that Michael Misa has a letter. Dragisevich is still going to be our guy, but we will give an A to Michael Misa before he plays a single NHL game. And aside from having to change over one scout, that new scout that we brought in, and honestly, we don't even have to do that. They're fine. They're at least in a spot that we already had somebody, I think. Well, let's double check. There is a way that technically could be wrong. Legal Liga SHL, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, yeah, we're good. Cool. Let's do it. Let's sim this season and see how this plays out. Still have very, very low expectations for how we'll actually sim here, but you never know. You never know. And that's the point. Season to season, with the way this league is. For example, we're comparing ourselves to Denver here. I do expect Denver to be significantly better, and they are better in every way, but it's a 59 offense to a 43. You know, it's not like we're facing an NHL caliber team here. It's still a very, very weak squad. So let's see where we wind up for the 2026 season. We ended up beating Denver, case in point. And we'll see what happens. Now, I did discover, certainly, that the simming is much, much slower in a 48-team custom league, and it's to be expected, right? You just have so much else going on, whether it be the fact that there are more teams. Of course, they're all custom, so it's loading different logos and stuff like that. But, yeah, 3-8 start the season. It's going to be a slow and steady approach, but it's very, very weird, even though it's understandable as to why. It is very, very weird to go back to slower simming when you know you're still on the most recent console. You know, we've gone back to PS2, Xbox 360 days. It's like, okay, yeah, it's loading more slowly. No surprise, whatever. We've gotten to this modern era where console simming is faster than it's ever been. It's tremendous. And yeah, now it feels like I'm being kind of thrown back a little bit in terms of console generations, and it's weird to get used to. Leaves me with very little to talk about, aside from like, hey, we just got shut out on back-to-back nights. Isn't that great? And the answer is yes. The answer is tremendous. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? The weaker we are now, the better. I mean, again, you could still make an argument for pushing for a championship sooner rather than later, but I don't know. It's tough to say. You know, if we win a cup in season 2, is the interest still there to see it play out? Probably. But again, any year could be our year. We could go on a massive run here as our team continues to get better, make the playoffs as an 8th seed, and go on a Florida Panthers-esque run, at least to a conference final. Especially with the reseeding that we have in this new format. You never know. I mean, again, these 16 seeds have been crazy so far. This could easily go the same way. No doubt about it. 22, 23, and 4. We are... we're doing okay. It's the only way to put it. We are the second worst team in our division, though. And you can see the separation. Hamilton absolutely crushing it this season. The odds of us making the playoffs, so... But hey, we're not embarrassed. Honestly, maybe we should. I don't know how to feel. Maybe we should want to be embarrassed and be the worst team in the league and try to get those top lottery odds. Maybe we want the third best odds because those always appear to be the best. Am I right, Chicago? God damn it. Again, back-to-back shutouts. Look at that. We are... Man, you thought the Toronto Maple Leafs were bad on back-to-backs. Whew. we take it to a whole new level. Love to see it. So we should hit 30 wins unless we just completely blow it for the back half. We shut out Hamilton. So technically we've won a Stanley Cup because we shut out a team that has won a Stanley Cup, which is great. Tremendous even. All right, finally, we're at the end of the season. I swear to God, it feels like it takes so long. 31, 42, and 9 for your New England Whalers, finishing dead last in our division as Hamilton, Quebec, and Ottawa all make the playoffs. Out of the Capitol division, we have the Golden Blades, the Arrows, Phoenix, and Raiders. In the Hatskin, the Carolina Centurions, and the Nashville Jazz. Defending champions, of course. The Murphy division with just one team, the San Francisco Sharks. You have the Dano division, oh my God, with OKC, Minnesota, St. Louis, Kansas City, and Chicago. And in the Baldwin, just the Denver Spurs. So in the entire league, the OKC Hogs take the unofficial President's Trophy, and we take the top lottery odds on tiebreaker over the Vancouver Vipers. So you'll love to see that. The Whalers, I didn't think we'd be that bad, but 31 wins. It's apparently bad enough to be the worst. As well, look at that from Michael Misa. That may very well be a Calder win right there. He was outstanding, as opposed to some other players where not so much. It's kind of shocking, though. We had 3 players that were plus players. And then defensively, 53 points for Jagistevic. Skinner was up there. Ivanov was up there as well. Don't know if we'll see massive improvement, but quite a few points on the board. Ratzlaff a 901. Vinny just an 889. So our goaltending was certainly not up to snuff. In terms of the entire league, Connor Bedard runs the show again, as he should. You had Zach Benson up there, Riley Height, Amir Wallace, Clark Caswell, and Leo Carlson all hitting at least 90 points. And Bedard was not the only 60-goal scorer. Unfortunately, Amir Wallace, the 5th overall pick to San Francisco, he's going to win the Calder. Damn it. Maybe we should have gone for him, huh? I don't think it was wrong to go for Michael Misa, but that guy's insane. That guy is absolutely insane. Wow. Defensively, leading scorer, Caleb Purcell. Oh my God, that's right. We've seen him before. Look at those attributes. Absolute monster for the 6'6" defender Purcell. Yves Perry was up there as well as a rookie for Washington. Led all defenders in goals. Winningest goaltender, Jan Ruzicka for Washington. Shutout leader, though, with 9 was Maxim Turakov for the Edmonton Oilers, who was drafted by Salt Lake City. Interesting. So he must not have signed and then went to Edmonton. Save percentage leader, Luke Kavalin, perhaps. Igor Plasienko was up there as well. And Justin Fazio. Crazy rookie race. Oh no, those other guys were. So see, Misa was 19, so I figured all the rookies were 19. So that guy was actually a second-year pro. It is likely to be, though, Renee Hamel, who went first overall. The Mayorov, who went 16th, finishing ahead of Misa. So he'll finish, third. He'd be in the finalists category, but there were a few players who were just a little bit better and certainly would have had better pieces around them to be able to pull off a season like that. So, clearly Michael Misa has all the makings of a star on this roster. OKC will play Nashville. Washington plays New York, Minnesota, San Fran, Carolina, St. Louis, Denver, Chicago, Ohio, and Quebec, Hamilton, Kansas City, and New York and Ottawa. So we'll see what happens to the Hogs, the number 1 seed. Let's see how this goes in the first round. Might be faster to calendar sim it, but hey, you know what? We're just going to go for it. We're going to spam the hell out of this A button. And it's going to be just fine. The other way would definitely be faster. But you know what? I don't care. Because here we are. And that first round is over. Oh my God. Oklahoma City lost. Nashville does it again. They will play New York, the Raiders, that is, Connor Bedard and the Raiders. Minnesota will play Carolina. Chicago pulls off the upset. They'll play Quebec. Hamilton will play the New York Blades. The highest seed left, I mean, you do have 3, 4, and 5 in there. 6 as well, but the top 2 seeds fall in the first round again. The playoffs for this series have been something else, man. It's been fantastic to watch. So we'll see if the defending champions in Nashville can make something happen against Connor Bedard, whose team does not appear to really be all that dominant. The Edmonton Oilers, apparently. Bedard's team fighting, they get bounced. The Nashville Jazz move on to the semifinal, where it looks like they're playing the Minnesota Fighting Saints, and indeed they are, while Quebec will take on New York. So look at that. I mean, 4, 6, 10, and 16, the surviving teams into the Final Four, including the 16th seed there again. Gives me hope. Anything can happen once we get to the playoffs. The amount of parity in this league it's Gary Bettman's wet dream to have every team have a possibility here, as the Quebec Nordiques will take on the Nashville Jazz. What is this now? 3 out of 4 years that the 16th seed has made the final? Insanity. Nords versus Jazz. Can the Nordiques get it done? Here we go. Quebec takes game 1. Tied at 1-1. 2-1 for the Nords. 3-1. And that will do it. The Quebec Nordiques, an original team in the WHA, have won the championship. From the 10th seed, they knock off Nashville in 5. Where on the other side, you would have seen the Graz 99ers winning the Calder Cup, beating the Utica Comets in the final. The number 1 seed goes the distance in the AHL, whereas the 16th seed almost went the difference. Went the distance, not the difference. The difference was that I messed up and misspoke. Ashton Irving led the way. 52nd overall pick for the Nords once upon a time. Had some other guys in there. Brent LeClaire, 31st overall pick in 2024. So, I mean, not an insane amount. I mean, they also have Pavel Brzgal. Yeah, that helps. Stalwart defenseman. And Matthias Niederberger. 16-2-0 with a .934 save percentage en route to a title. As the defending champions fall. So far, Seattle, Hamilton, Nashville, and Quebec have won the titles. Connor Bedard wins a second Art Ross trophy, as well as a Hart. Purcell won the Norris, no kidding. Bedard also wins the Bing. Hamel wins the Calder for Kansas City. Irving the Conn Smythe. Ruzicka wins the Vezina. What else do we have here? Jack Adams went to Chicago's coach. Zach Benson wins his second straight Selke. And Connor Bedard wins another Ted Lindsay. And Rocket Bouchard. I think we're going to see Bedard winning the Rocket Bouchard. We're going to see Bedard winning a lot of those. AHL-wise, Owen Sillinger put up the most points. Anybody up there? You had Brandon Gignac with the most goals. And quite a few Graz. Hey, top goaltender, Nicky Rue. Love to see it. Love to see it. That's right. Let's go look at his numbers really quickly, shall we? Because we didn't do that at the end of the season. But Russia for Providence, 9-19, 40, 24, and 6. So Providence, I would imagine, I didn't really pay. Yeah, we did make the playoffs as the 11th seed and lost in the first round. Wasn't even paying attention. Love to see it, though. Good effort for that team to make the playoffs. But now we get to what we've been waiting for. The draft lottery. We have the number 1 odds in the draft. Will it matter? The answer is yes, because we hold at number 1 as Vegas moves up from 12 to 2, and we will have the number 1 pick in this draft. But is there somebody there who's worth it? Is the question. And we do not have an answer to that yet. But boy, hey, Jerry D'Amigo retires. If there was ever a year, and Borna Rendulic, if there was ever a year for there to be a franchise player that we could pair up with Michael Misa for years to come. Oh, Brandon Maxwell retired. That's a shame. The GOAT, future Hall of Famer. This would be the year. We never look at the draft. We leave it as a suspenseful moment. Here we go. 2026 NHL draft. Is there somebody at the top that we would want? The answer, so no franchise caliber players. That's a shame. Nor high elites. Okay. Matthias Landeskog. Straight A's. Beautiful. NHL ready. Has make it snappy. Tremendous. Nolan Legwand. We'll say son of David. Doesn't have straight A's. Has the B in physical. NHL ready. Gold relentless. He's out. And we've talked about that in the past. Pekka Ranta. Nearly straight A's, a B in defense. NHL ready as a defenseman. Has quick pick in reverse yoink thunderclap. I mean, we're going to be a very, very solid. Odds are defensive defenseman. Thunderclap is interesting. There's Gavin McKenna, who is real. 2 B's for him. NHL ready. Puck on a string. Big time playmaker. Russ Volk from the Ottawa 67s. Straight A's for him. Unconfirmed ankle breaker. Or Ola Berglund. Nearly straight A's except for physical. Also has make it snappy. 1T shock and on-magnetic skill. I think it has to be the first overall projection. Landeskog. Feel like it has to be. I mean, 3A pluses. Yeah, you're just not going to find somebody to compete with that outside of Volk. But Volk has unconfirmed abilities that are a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. Like, I'm sure he has something, but we don't know what. Technically, Volk has slightly better stats. I'd rather have the guy with the better skating. We're going to go for Matthias Landeskog, the Swede, the number 1 overall pick, and Michael Misa's new line mate. Oh, my God. Well, he and Misa should do very, very well for themselves. Make it snappy, snipe, magnetic in close quarters. He is a goal-scoring machine. And I'd like to think we made the right choice. Legwand to 79, McKenna to 78. Volk's an 83. We couldn't have gone wrong, except we could have because Volk didn't have a gold. Great pick for Vancouver. Would have been the wrong pick for us. And then Ola Berglund rounds it out. Oh, Toronto. Oh, my God. Handing the Michigan Stags Pekka Ranta. Toronto blew it, and they took a B-lock to do it. Wow. Horrific for the Toros. Absolutely horrific. I've always thinking, like, okay, first round. Because I saw Markstrom there at a 73. 77. Going 14th. 78. Going 16th. So, oh, yeah, there are teams that can get this massively, massively wrong. We saw good examples there, but yeah, I mean, we got a ways to go. So let's focus here on our second round pick. And we might have had someone fall right into our laps. Pavel Tutin. Apparently 3 years out, but left wing, center, right wing looked set. Brock Gianna, son of Brian. Pasi Jaskalainen. Do we have anybody else that can compete? There's Solomon Ellis, who might be a low elite, but I can't take that risk with a guaranteed medium top 6 on the board. There is a low elite in Stajan, a medium elite goalie in Hendrickson. Okay. Another 2 out of 4 low elite. I can't trust that. Another medium elite. Another 2 low elites. 2 medium elite. Okay. Down to one of these 3. The goaltender, Hendrickson. No abilities that we know of. He's out. Edwin Stajan has send it. That's big. What about Pavel Tutin? So Pavel Tutin would be great for the forwards. He would be. Edwin Stajan is the smarter pick, whereas the other guy is a better need pick. We're still early. Let's go for the smarter pick. We're going to take Edwin to really help out the defense. 63 overall, low elite at 18 years old, has send it, thunderclap, and quick pick. He should be a force offensively in this league, no doubt. It's just a shame that we had to pass up. Yeah, Tutin's a 63, medium top 6. No abilities. I feel like we made the right choice. I feel like we could get a player like Tutin in pretty much any other year. No disrespect to him, but I feel like we made the right choice. Not that we didn't want to take forwards. There's Lintner. Lucas Wright is damn near confirmed. Medium top 4. Who else do we have? There's a medium 9 forward, Gary Hayes, which isn't the worst idea to take a player like that. There's 2 out of 4, Toby Tanaka. Decent chance of ankle breaker, but no guarantees. Probably rather take him over the medium 9. Johan Tarnqvist. Bit of an outside shot. There's more medium 9s. 2 out of 4 low elite off the rush, potentially for Ernest Lucic. Oh, goodness. A fringe starter in Copeland. Copeland. Well, the rest of the okay, there we go. Derek Bell. Oh, my God. I mean, you talk about who we passed up on, and now we can get someone potentially similar. He'll be a lower overall, but to still have that low elite defender as well is huge. Theo Wesley has unconfirmed no contest. That was at a 3 out of 4. There's Dmitry Artukin. And okay, I think we're good. So, Toby Tanaka, unconfirmed ankle breaker. This time we go for what looks like a sure thing in forward Derek Bell from the Portland Winterhawks. He is only a 47, but playing next to Misa and Landeskog, that overall should go up fast. So, again, it is the question of did we make the right choice? I feel like we did. I mean, through 3 rounds so far, it's very tough to be upset about who we've ended up with. Tanaka was technically a higher overall, but we didn't know, right? It wasn't a guarantee that he was going to be a medium top 6. So technically Tanaka would have been a little bit better, but it was nice to not have to take the risk, because if Tanaka was lower than that, instead of being like, well, hey, our guy's a low overall, we'd be like, oh, good, we picked a low top 9 forward, you know? So overall, pretty good. Round 4. Can we keep up this luck? Wesley's still there as a low elite. We're looking at someone like Duncan, who's a 2 out of 4. There is a confirmed low elite, Dan Watkins, and Karpatsev. And Jacques Delorier, for that matter. There's quite a few players here that have a good chance of actually being a low elite. Then there's Ulf Nylander, who has a good shot of being a medium top 6 forward. And this guy, Jeff Saunders, a good chance of actually being a good defender. We do not need to worry about a goalie. So, this is tough. There's first and foremost, the guy's name is Tim Duncan, which is incredible. But 2 confirmed low elites. We wouldn't be able to risk it on Delorier, but to go for Watkins and Karpatsev would be huge. And it's something we simply have to do. I don't see another choice that we have aside from taking the guarantee. We're going to go for Dan Watkins out of HV71. He is a 59 overall. No abilities for him. And then in the 5th round, we are going to go... I know Saunders is there, but we are going to go probably for... I think it's got to be... I mean, our scout rank has Karpatsev so much higher. And maybe I should have gone for these 2 forwards instead. The benefit to Delorier is that he's a year younger. So I think for that reason, I am going to go for Delorier and hope that somehow Karpatsev falls, even though he won't. There's not a hope in hell. We're going to be looking for Booth probably at the end. Let's go for Jacques Delorier, who's a 50 overall low elite. So my only regret there is that we did take a low elite defender, even though he's a 59. I think we probably could have gone for the extra forward there to boost up the forward lines that much sooner. That said, the defensive lines are going to be looking fantastic. And yeah, no doubt we made the right choice there. So let's see. Pick 241. It's only the 6th round, of course. Let's take a look here. Did we make a decent choice? Karpatsev's a 53. Again, Watkins was the best of the low elites in terms of overall. Maybe we should have gone for Delorier and Karpatsev, but all in all, for the well-rounded approach, it's not that bad. And Delorier, being a year younger, was still the right guy to choose there. Round 6. Well, we only got one potential low elite left, and it's Tate Booth from the Barrie Colts. Ends up being a low 9. First real pick of the draft that I'm not happy with, but it's super late. And then, to round it out, Jalen Shepherd, our last hope from the London Knights for a good pick. Medium bottom 6 isn't terrible. All in all, that was a great draft and probably our best from top to bottom. Again, it always goes to Dallas first. I don't know why. It's a weird glitch. But with Landeskog, Stajan, Bell, it's tough not to be happy about that particular draft. We certainly have Michael Misa, an improved supporting cast heading into next season, which is crucial to make sure he stays on an upward trajectory, as Ratzlaff and Russia will both have to be signed, and Ratzlaff wants $6.7 million a season already. Dragicevic, yep. Oh, this is going to be weird. Bentham and Parker, we will look to keep them as well. And then Stajan will probably sign immediately. There's Watkins. Thevos can go, as can Bean, Dottie, McCormick. And then forward-wise, we know a lot of people will be leaving. Fitza, Winkler, nobody on the left. And then center, we'll be keeping Oswald, but Brady Burns and Fiddler Schultz can head out. So looking at the goalies, that is good. Looking at the defenders, let's bring in Stajan. Why not? Let's bring in Watkins. Get these guys pretty much immediately to the NHL level. On the right, Landeskog. I mean, he is going to be a monster. He might, and really is, I mean, outside of the guy, of course, that we didn't take, but Landeskog is the favorite for Rookie of the Year. Let's take Booth and Bell. Get them signed. And then Delorier and Shepherd as well. It looks like we had quite a few guys retire as well. So there we go. Good amount of players just signed. We will have, the RFAs that we have to tend to. But all in all, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. And we can kind of play this out. I mean, Dragicevic is going to be worth that money. Do we try to wait people out? I mean, yeah, look at like the Oswald contract. This is where it's going to get interesting now. These contracts, who do we pay? When do we pay them? There's just a different twist, a different challenge after every single season.